I've been feeling a dreadful presence lately. And it's not from you over there. It is something far more sinister. Anyway, we were continuing with the struggles of the Karaman Bigs over the rebellions that occurred over the religion sects wanting their influence triumph over the other. But in the southernmost region of Armenian, Bedreddin was evermore encroaching in the southern Christian states, using the rebellions covering the rest of the Karaman realm to further his influence over his brothers. By the year 1317 of Yeshua, Bedreddin was returning to his city, leaving a small garrison to take care of his newly won fortress. His son, Fakhreddin, had just arrived from Konya, and now both would work together to bring their house to triumph over the other ones of the Karaman state. To secure his foothold in Central Anatolia, Yaxihan began to establish friendly relations with neighboring beyliks that, upon any sign of weakness, wished to run over the Karaman lands. Exchange of gifts and money were necessary to bring the neighboring states to a halt, allowing the Beg armies to extend further into rebel lands. In Aksaray, Aladdin's son, Ali, had come of age, and he was put into his first military assignment as his father retainer, assaulting one of Yahya Kardai's strongholds in the region. Being that he was more warlike than his father, he wasted no time in bringing his forces to take the rebel castle, calling upon the Tatars in the bordering fortress and roaming mercenary bands to aid him in his plight. His forces broke to the enemy's defenses, storming the enemy's stronghold, where they went into the key plaza to make their final stand, being that they were no more than peasant forces. By the end of 1318, the fortress had been taken, and Ali was given much praise for taking the enemy fortress at such a young age. In Larenda, Burhanuddin gathered a large host, and once again marched over the rebels in the southern fortress of his domains. The rebels were well fortified, and when, by the end of 1318, they still had not been overrun by Burhaneddin's forces, making him a laughingstock of the Karamans. By 1319, the Karamans had reached an alliance with the Kandar Beks of the north, giving Yassi Khan a overreaching presence in the peninsula. At the same time, his agents were roaming through the neighboring Beylik lands, so to chart their territories and have better grasp of the other states' situations. For information can be as deadly as a sword. Bedreddin was also scouting for further information on the southern Christian Olds, where he found the fortress of Alayye, a autonomous settlement under the protection of the lords of Cyprus. But their power was greatly weakened and couldn't assert their authority over the region. Bedreddin saw this as an opportunity to expand his territory and began making raids and attacks upon Alayye's population, while his son, Fakhreddin, had been appointed as the new governor of Ermenek. By the end of 1320, Burhaneddin finally was able to get the surrender of the southern rebels, only to realize that a new threat was on the rise beyond the borders of the captured fortress. The Armenian kingdom of Cilicia had just expanded west to Silivke, using the lack of authority of the lords of Cyprus set over the southern Anatolian coast to become the major new Christian power in the region. When news spread, Khali went to Aksaray with his army to ask of his father to begin raids against the Armenian Christians, which he pondered about. Seeing their desperate situation, the people of Alayye beseeched for the Armenians to aid them in return to becoming their vassals. Bedreddin, not wanting to be caught on two fronts, went back to his new conquered fortress to regroup and prepare his new attacks on the Christians. Imams began to spread the word of jihad in the Karaman lands, and tensions were high in the borderlands. Burhaneddin, fearing being defenseless in Larenda, recalled all of his forces in the southern fortress to guard him, instead of defending the border against the enemy. While, by the beginning of 1321, Alaeddin had given his son permission to scout and raid Armenian lands. Seeing that a new war would emerge near their lands, the Mamluks requested for an alliance, so that the Armenians would be surrounded by both Karaman and Mamluk alike, if a war truly occurred. Yaghsi Beg was more than glad to accept their offer. While crossing over the Armenian mountain passes, Ali was attacked by the frontiersmen of the area, Sempad Thumidian, who had a better prepared host. The young and cocky warrior nonetheless confronted the Cilician force, skirmishing with their forces. Having only with him a small group of light cavalry, Ali was forced to pull back to Aksaray, thus beginning the war between the Karaman and the Armenians. This would be their first real challenge in the supremacy for Anatolia. And whether they succeed or not, much blood will be spoiled for the amusement of us all.